I know you've toured with my dad, which I'm assuming was hilarious. So I asked him last night, I said, is there anything you want me to ask Johnny? And he just said, make sure he tells everyone about the Mikkey Dee drum solo story. So I think I know what he's talking about. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. That was a fucking highlight for sure. It was so weird, because first of all, it was amazing to be on tour with Motorhead. So that was like a fucking dream come true also. And the fact that Doro and Lemmy were friends, it kind of broke the ice a bit. But in the beginning, like your dad, he could seem like a bit curmudgeonly, like, doesn't really speak. He's kind of shy in a way, but if you don't know him, you think like he's completely rock star stuck up or something. So I was like, I didn't know really what to make of Phil. I thought, like, is it me? Like, am I a wanker? And he just doesn't want to fucking bother talking to me or whatever. But then we started to kind of warm up. You know how it is. The first couple of days of any tour is always like you barely even say hello to anybody, because you're just too fucking busy. Yeah. So then we had a couple chats, and when I realized how fucking funny he was, and luckily, like, the time that I spent in England was always such a fucking great, funny time, man. I mean, the comedy alone lasts a lifetime. I literally still to this day talk with my friend Jimmy about shit that happened or certain ways that British people speak or the fucking comedy that they are really into. And like your old man was just like fucking hilarious. So once I got that vibe going, and then the wind-ups, man, the wind-up shit, like nobody you would not know what that was unless you lived in England or dealt with some people, British people in a band that love to wind people up. So I'm like, okay, this guy's fucking perfect, man. And I could like at least talk to him on that level. Like I had experienced some of that. So I was a little bit more aware than just some, the stupid American that could be completely wound up and taken advantage of. But anyway, I think he challenged me to basically, it was a last gig scenario, so who's going to go out on stage and do what and fucking, play pranks on somebody. So he goes, I dare you to go fuck with Mikkey during his drum solo. And I was like, really? He's like, if you do that, mate, like, we're fucking friends for life. And I was like, what's the big deal, And here everybody's like, dude, you can't fucking fuck with Mikkey during his solo. Are you fucking crazy? You know what I mean? He's fucking real freak. And I was like, whatever. I had a couple fucking drinks. It was the last show. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. So basically, like, what am I going to do? Okay. I'll borrow Doro's underpants and bra. We had this fucking big, like, gray wig because we had this Warlock character thing, costume off the side of the stage. So I put that on, bra and panties, no other clothes, big piece of gray wig hair sticking out as a big gray bush out of the panties, and I just like grabbed a cigarette and a beer and I fucking walked on stage as he was playing his solo, and I just stood next to him and did like a fucking, a go-go dance or whatever. And he was completely oblivious to it, just playing his fucking ass off like he does. And then at like 3 minutes into it, he finally like caught a glimpse of me and was like, what the fuck? And then he laughed and kind of, I could see his fucking eyes just burning me like, you motherfucker, you know what I mean? And so I left the stage, and your dad just like gave me the biggest fucking smile and hug, and he was just like, that was fucking brilliant, man. And ever since that moment, we were like totally mates, so
yeah.